Hello and welcome to my today's video, and today I'm going to say to you the things that I wish I could say to Enhypen's Sunoo, and actually to a lot of other sensitive people out there. Oh, it's probably very loud, right? Because of the rain, and there's nothing I can do to it. Okay, I will hope that it's okay. But if not, perceive the rain as a background for a melancholic video that I am making. Anyways, I came up with the idea of this video because of the speech that Sunoo gave at the last concert of Enhypen's Walk the Line tour, when he basically burst out crying on stage, but also he said at some point that sometimes he thinks that maybe it's the problem with him. And I've been looking at Sunoo for quite some time, and I've been it's very obvious. You can see it from the first sight that Sunoo is very sensitive. And the K-pop industry, but actually generally the world as it is right now, is pretty brutal with sensitive people. And I can imagine how often, and it's not that just I can imagine, I can see how often sensitive people feel very as if there is something wrong with them, as if it is a problem with them. I have already 2 videos on my YouTube channel, one about Bamgyu and one about Namjoon, because I believe they are also pretty sensitive kinds of people, and about how it is kind of difficult for them to live this life and how they are handling it. And I think that Sunoo falls into the same category more or less, of course with certain differences, because we are all very different. But it's like the same thing, more or less. Like the people who wear the heart on their sleeves, it's much more difficult for them to live in the society which is highly demanding, but especially in the industries that are highly demanding, like K-pop. And actually, there is one more thing about sensitive people that I want to make an emphasis on in this video, and that's their ability to channel the emotions and the feelings of other people that are suppressed and buried. There is a wonderful British series, I think it's Amazon series. It's called Fleabag. I should have checked what's the name of the actress and the screenwriter. I will write it somewhere here. Her name is Phoebe, but I don't remember her last name. So it's genius, actually. And it's about this kind of a person who is very sensitive and who constantly doesn't fit in, but at the same time is very, really full of life. And people really love this kind of a people because this kind of people remind them of how it feels to be alive. But at the same time, people really hate such people because such people bring up the things which they wish weren't brought up. And there is a particular scene, it's in the first series of the 2nd season, where it is shown very perfectly how the sensitive people kind of can burst with the emotions and the suppressed thoughts, the suppressed ideas of other people. It is like they're sitting at the table with her family, and her family starts to, it's shown as if the amount of bullshit is getting bigger and bigger and bigger until this main character bursts and says something which interrupts all this bullshit, all this shit. But I've been noticing it in myself as well, and I've been noticing it in other sensitive people that I see, that sometimes they cannot cope with their emotions because it's not just their emotions, because they feel their emotions, and there are a lot of them. But at the same time, they feel the emotions of other people that other people are able to suppress. And it's like this sensitive person becomes like a channel for everything that is suppressed. So if we're speaking about Enhypen, I believe that there is a lot going on under the surface, but not just, hidden from the eyes of the fans, but also hidden from themselves as well. Because in the industry like that, I really, really doubt that young men are being taught to deal with their emotions. And the pressure is huge, and even the island, everything that was happening in Ireland is very I don't know if I need to say traumatizing, but it needs to be integrated. But I don't think that anybody ever dealt with integrating it. And then they just started to work, and they started to work a lot. So I can imagine how much of suppressed everything there is in each member of Enhypen. I'm not saying that they are bad or anything like that. It's just how it is. It's just how the emotions are being dealt with in the modern society, especially in young men, especially in the industries that are as demanding as K-pop. So I can imagine how difficult it is for Sunoo to deal with his own sensitivity, which is not his fault. Like we are born with a certain configuration of the nervous system. We don't choose the level of sensitivity that we have. We just need to live with it. And I can imagine how difficult it is for Sunoo to live with all of his emotions, all of his feelings, and at the same time deal with the emotions, the underlying emotions of all of the people around him, because that's how sensitive people feel. And of course, sometimes he will not be able to deal with all of that, because it's not just his emotions. It's because he hasn't been taught to deal with all of this. He hasn't been taught to distinguish. He hasn't been taught to process these emotions, because nobody does that. Nobody teaches anybody this shit. So what I wanted to say to Sunoo, what I would like to say to Sunoo if I had a chance, that, honey, there is nothing wrong with you. And I would say the same thing to every sensitive person. There is nothing wrong with you. You just feel more. And you have to deal with the emotions of all the people around you at the same time as dealing with your own emotions. And it's too much sometimes. And it's okay to break down sometimes. And it's okay that you need more time than other people. And it's okay that you have less energy than other people, because you have to deal with all this shitload of emotions and of sensations and of thoughts and of everything. I thought that I will get emotional in this video, and I thought I would cry, but I'm not crying. I'm just fucking angry. I'm just fucking angry at this society, which makes us feel like a pariah, like as if something is wrong with us. But it's not. It's wrong. It's something wrong with all of you. Go fuck yourself. Okay. But except for that, something that I would say to sensitive people as well is that there are a few practical things that I have discovered, that I have developed, I don't know, in me, because I had to deal with all of this shit as well, and I'm dealing with it as well. And it is also like, very often the people like that have issues with weight. Maybe even less weight than, what is it called in English? Not bloating, but what is it called in English? Like water retention in the body. Because the body wants to protect you. Like, it's just, when you feel too much, the body is trying to obtain some weight, to obtain some water, to obtain some barrier to protect you. So it may be the reason, it may be a thing that makes it difficult to lose weight, for example, for the people like that. Because the body doesn't want to allow you to lose weight because it feels very vulnerable. So this sensitivity is the thing that you need to deal with before you try to lose weight, if you have issues with it, if you are a sensitive person and you have issues with that. And another thing, another reason why people who are very sensitive can feel fatigue very often, feel that they have less energy than they probably should, is because except for the fact that you are processing too much of everything at the same time, which consumes energy, obviously. There is also another thing which is connected with breathing. Because people who are sensitive very often, they have this constant stress, which really, stress, it really influences the whole body. But particularly, it may influence the diaphragm, and it creates this tension or sometimes even cramp in the diaphragm. And in this case, the person cannot breathe properly. For example, when I was younger, when I was 23, 24, I found out that I can't, I was breathing with this part of lungs probably. And of course it gives you fatigue. Of course it influences the quality of life and so on, because you're not breathing properly. And it's not your fault. You haven't been taught this shit as well. So, yeah. What I would say to Sunoo of Enhypen and to all the sensitive people out there, just take care of yourself. Everything is all right with you. Nothing is wrong with you. You are perfect as you are. Just, you need to learn to take care of yourself, and you need to learn to live with your sensitivity. And then it will become a huge strength, actually, in like for every person in their own way. And if you are listening to this and you are not this sensitive person, but you are dealing with a sensitive person, I want to tell you that sensitive people do not need protection. Like very often they say, if they see someone cute or vulnerable or sensitive, they say protect them by all costs. It's okay, you may protect them, of course, if you want to, but sensitive people are very strong, actually, because I started to read a book yesterday and I saw a phrase there where one character says about a sensitive character that she will be okay. Like, she endured more pain this morning than you during the whole week. Sensitive people are very resilient because we need to deal with a lot of shit from birth. So we need to learn how to do that. Sensitive people need acknowledgement. Like, if you want to take care of someone in your surrounding who is very sensitive, just acknowledge that everything is all right with them. That the fact that they cry sometimes is just means that they feel too much sometimes, and they don't feel only for themselves but for all the people around them. Just assure them that if they need more time, they can take it all. And that everything is all right with them, that everything is all right with them, that everything is always all right with them. They just need more time and more energy to go through the same experiences through which people who are not as sensitive will go much more easily. Yeah, I feel like I said everything that I wanted to say. I feel like, sensitive people are my specialty in a way. Maybe I have said it already in this video, I forgot. I have, like, my friend, I am very sensitive. But my best friend, she is even more like, like Fleabag, that character from the series. And I know other people like that, and my clients are like that sometimes, some of them at least. There are a lot of people like that. And we need to learn to acknowledge that. And we need to learn to not just, allow ourselves to be a normal part of the society, but also to realize that actually maybe we are more right than others because we feel more. We are the ones who can sense the reality better. So maybe it's us who they need to listen to. Maybe it's not just that we need to fit in this world. Maybe we are to change it because we know better how it should be. Okay, it starts to sound like I'm like, my army, let's get together. I mean, not BTS army, but like ordinary army. But my BTS army too. I'm an army, so... Okay, whatever, I'm speaking bullshit already. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.